Tourists have flocked en masse to see molten lava spewing out of Mount Etna, a stratovolcano located on the east coast of Sicily. Plumes of thick black smoke have continued to trigger travel chaos in the region, grounding dozens of flights at Catania, Fontanarossa Airport, and temporarily suspending arrivals. However, for all the fiery force Etna is displaying, the environmental consequences of its eruptions are not necessarily as far-reaching or devastating as they appear. For one, this kind of activity is not unusual for Etna. The volcano erupts several times a year, and sometimes multiple times a month. The Sicilian landmark is one of the world's most active volcanoes and has produced more than 70 paroxysmal eruptions in the past 6 years. Giorgio Costa, a PhD student at the University of Catania's Department of Biological, Geological, and Environmental Sciences. These intense bursts of activity can send lava fountains hundreds of meters into the air and ash clouds several kilometers high. They typically last several hours. In reality, the volcano's activity is currently perfectly normal, says Costa. Volcanic eruptions send a cocktail of debris and emissions into the air. The most obvious is ash, but volcanoes also emit carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, as well as small amounts of hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen chloride, and hydrogen fluoride. That might make Etna's regular eruptions seem like potential environmental catastrophes, but the truth is more complex. The U.S. Geological Survey explains that gases such as sulfur dioxide can cause global cooling, while carbon dioxide has the potential to promote global warming. The impact is minimal. However, NASA says that human activities generate 100 times the carbon dioxide of the planet's volcanic eruptions. Besides that, climate change itself doesn't influence eruptions. There is no correlation between meteorological events and the Earth's volcanic or tectonic activity. The main issue currently associated with the eruptions of Etna concerns the fallout of pyroclastic material, mostly ash and small lapilli, which can be carried by the wind to the slopes, says Costa. Lapilli are small fragments of rock, which typically range from 2 to 64 millimeters. Costa explains that while ash and small lapilli are not dangerous to human health, they can become so when fine particles produced by the ash are lifted into the air. Inhaling large amounts of this material is certainly not healthy for the respiratory system, so wearing a mask is recommended. It can also pose a serious problem for aircraft. If a plane flies through an ash cloud, the particles can enter its engines, where they can melt and damage components and, in some cases, cause engines to lose power. This is why ash in the airspace around Etna can force Catania Airport to close. Etna's ash acts as a mineral-rich fertilizer and can improve soil drainage and water retention, helping farmers produce Sicily's renowned wines, pistachios, and citrus fruit. Research from the Scripps Institution of Oceanography in San Diego found that volcanic ash can do more than simply add nutrients to soil. In experiments, ash helped revive microbial communities in degraded soil, increasing the activity of organisms that play a key role in breaking down organic matter and making nutrients available to plants. The researchers also found that plants grown in ash-rich soil develop larger root systems and produce more biomass. Etna's frequent eruptions mean it repeatedly deposits fresh layers of ash, creating a long-term cycle of destruction, enrichment, and renewal. Even if ash causes problems when it falls, it eventually becomes part of the soil, supporting new life, if not important crops for Sicilian farmers. While some might be worried about Etna's impact on the environment, the biggest immediate risk may come from people getting too close to the action, completely lacking in mountain gear, says Mirko Messina, a specialized tour service that leads excursions of Italian volcanoes, including Etna. The Alpine Rescue Service has already carried out numerous rescues, especially at night when law enforcement checks are not in place. Messina adds that Etna's northeast slope, which has just one small, uphill road, has become gridlocked with hundreds of cars, preventing normal traffic flow and hindering rescue efforts. While Etna erupting might be business as usual, Messina says, it should be anything but that for those looking to witness it up close. It is impossible to predict in advance how the eruption will evolve in the coming days, he explains, but it will be constantly monitored,